Hello students, in this video I will go through exercise U2A07. Let's take a look. So the instructions here says to write the congruent corresponding parts and also to find all the unknowns here, find x, y, and z. Let's go through it. So I noticed that the diagram here is implying that the triangle is going through a rotation. It doesn't really specify whether UVS is rotating towards MTA or the other way around. It doesn't specify that. But what I do know is that under the rotation, under the rigid motion, that triangle MTA will be congruent to. So I got to be careful when I do this because all the corresponding parts must line up. Okay, so MTA would correspond with VSU then. And if you check out the solutions to this exercise, right, all the solutions here will have that. Just make sure that whatever you're calling, that all the letters do lined up and correspond in that manner. Okay, so going back to this question over here, okay? So there's a reason why all these things have to line up this way. That's because angle M will correspond with V, angle T will correspond with angle S, angle A will correspond with angle U. So knowing this fact then, okay, then I know immediately that angle V will equal to 90, right? Or in other words, 5x minus 20 will equal to 90. And since 5x minus 20 is equal to 90, I can then solve for x. I can then say 5x is equal to 110, and x will equal to 22. And then I'm going to go through in a very similar manner to find out what z is, since t corresponds with s. So 32 will equal to 4z plus 8. So I can solve for z by subtracting 8, and I will end up with 24 is equal to 4z. Divide by 4, z will equal to 6. And then similarly with angle U corresponds with angle A. I'm not told what angle A is. However, I am told that this is a 90-degree angle, this is 32. The leftover angle must therefore be the difference between 180 and the sum of those two angles. So the sum of those two angles here is 90 plus 32 is 122. So the difference then must be 58. So that angle must be 58. So therefore I can again do the same thing and solve for y. So I know that 2y plus 10 will equal to 58. Subtract 10, 2y is equal to 48. Y will therefore equal to 24. And there you go. All right. Next, very similar manner. Okay. Here again, MTA, triangle MTA, is congruent to triangle VSU. So now MT corresponds with VS. TA corresponds with SU. And MA corresponds with VU. So again, the letters, the pairing of the letters must correspond. So if that's the case, then now I have the working relationships. I can now solve for x, y, and z again. So I know that MT is 16 minus 2y is equal to SU. SU is 7 minus z. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. MT and VS. This is what happens when you're talking to yourself. No, I got it. I'm sorry. VS is not 7. It is 4. That's why I'm looking at it strange. I hesitated a little bit there. So again, mt is 16 minus 2y, and vs is equal to 4. Now I can solve for y. Subtract both sides by 16. I end up with negative 2y is equal to negative 12. Divide by negative 2. I get y is equal to 6. Now I'm going to go through and solve for the sides TA corresponding to SU. So TA is 3z minus 1, and SU is 7 minus z. So again, I'm going to solve for z. Add z to both sides, I get 4z. Add 1 to both sides, I get 8. Z therefore is equal to 2. And lastly, MA is 3. And that will equal to VU, which is 3x minus 6. Add 6 to both sides, I get 9 is equal to 3x. Divide by 3, x is equal to 3, therefore. Alright, moving on. This is again another rotation. So here I can see that G ES will be congruent to, again it's a rotation, YAW. So knowing this, I can then say angle G is congruent to angle Y. E is congruent to angle A. S is congruent to angle W. So G is 90, so I can say 90 is equal to 4x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides, I get 100 is equal to 4x. Divide by 4, x is equal to 25. I'm going to take E, which is 30, and set it equal to A, which is 5y minus 20. Add 20 to both sides, I get 50 is equal to 5y. Divide by 5, y is equal to 10. And very similar to the last problem, I did not give you the last angle over here, so we need to figure that out. 9 plus 30 is 120, so left over must be 60. Alright, so 60 therefore is equal to 4z. Divide both sides by 4, I end up with z is equal to 15. Okay. So again, GES is congruent to YAW. And so I know that GE is going to be congruent to YA. ES is congruent to AW. And GS is congruent to YW. So this is going to give me the working relationships to solve for x, y, and z. So GE is 2x minus 6 is equal to YA is equal to 12. Add 6 to both sides, divide by 2. 2x is equal to 18. Divide by 2, x is equal to 9. ES equal to AW. So ES is 13. Equal to AW is equal to 2y plus 5. Subtract by 5, I end up with 8. Divide by 2, y is equal to 4. I look at GS now. 3z minus 1 is equal to z plus 3. Subtract z and add 1 from both sides. I end up with 2z is equal to 4. Z therefore is equal to 2. Moving on. Okay, now these two triangles underwent a rotation, again not specified but doesn't really matter. Triangle XET is congruent to triangle, what is it going to be? ROC. And again, just as long as you get the corresponding parts correct. So angle X is 55. It will be congruent to 5Z. Divide by 5, Z is equal to 11. Angle, oh, that's a K. So that's not an X, that's a K. Okay, so angle E corresponds with angle O. So I don't know what angle E is, but I do know 55 and 65. That adds up to 120. No. Yeah, 120. So that means the last angle there must be 60. So therefore, 11y plus 5 will equal to 60. Subtract 5, I end up with 11y is equal to 55. Again, y therefore is equal to 5. And lastly, 65 is equal to 5x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides, 75. Divide by 5, x will equal to 15. Okay. Moving on. So again, very similar. KET, triangle KET is congruent to triangle COR. Actually, it spells rocket, right? ROCKET. Okay. So, actually, all of these spell something. But here, like for example, this was MTA and SUV, right? But anyway, going back to this. So, KET, triangle KET, I have side length KE corresponds with CO. ET corresponds with OR, and KT corresponds with CR. So looking at this, I know that KE is 4 minus 3y. Sorry, that's a plus. 4 plus 3y. That's KE. And CO is 3x plus 3. Did I mean to do KE and CO? KE, I'm sorry, I got this backwards here. KET and ROC. I don't know why I didn't just look at the example that I just went through. So that means these are incorrect. So KE and RO correspond. ET and OC correspond. And KT and RC correspond. So therefore, 4 plus 3y will correspond with 16. And that's how you go about it. So subtract 4, I end up with 12. Divide by 3, I end up with 4. Okay. And then ET, which is 12, corresponds with OC, 3x plus 3. Subtract 3, I end up with 9, not 8. Divide by 3, x is equal to 3. And the last part, which is KT, 29 minus 3z. Whoops. 29 minus 3z is equal to z RC, so z plus 9. Add 4z to both sides, I end up with, add 3z to both sides, I end up with 4z is equal to, subtract 9 from both sides, I end up with 20. So divide by 4, z will equal to 5. Moving on. This is a reflection. So again, triangle SUV will be congruent to triangle KPL. Okay. So looking at this, angle S will correspond with angle K. So 4x plus 10 will correspond with 2x plus 20. Subtract 2x, subtract 10. I end up with 2x is equal to 10. Divide by 2, x will equal to 5. U corresponds with P, so 10 plus 5z corresponds with 70. Subtract by 10, 5z will equal to 60. Divide by 5, z will equal to 12. Lastly, V corresponds with L, so 80 will equal to 10 plus 5y. Subtract by 10, I know 70 is equal to 5y. Divide by 5, y will equal to 16. No. 14. Is it 14? Yes. Okay. Moving on. Again, just like before, SUV is congruent to KPL. Triangle SUV and triangle KPL. So SU is 2y plus 1. That is equal to 19 minus 4y. Add 4y from both sides, I end up with 6y. Subtract 1 from both sides, I end up with 18. Divide by 6, y is equal to 3. And UV corresponds with KP. I'm sorry, UV corresponds with PL. So 5 will equal to 3z minus 1. Add 1. Divide by 3, z is equal to 2. And SV is 8 minus 2x. It corresponds with KL, which is 6. Subtract 8, I end up with negative 2x is equal to negative 2. Divide by negative 2, x is equal to 1. Alright, moving on. This is a translation, going down and over. Again, these are congruent. So triangle LIE is congruent to triangle LIE is congruent to triangle AJH. So I'm sorry, I got it backwards. LEI is congruent to AJH. Okay, so I know that L corresponds with 50 corresponds with 2x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides, I get 60. Divide by 2, x is equal to 30. 5y minus 10, 5y minus 10 is equal to 70. Add 10 to both sides, 5y is equal to 80. Divide by 5, y is equal to 16. 4z plus 20 is equal to 70 minus z. Add z to both sides, 5z. Subtract 20, get 50. Z will equal to 10. So again, triangle ELI is congruent to triangle JHA. So now I know that EL is not 4z plus 20 And that is congruent to 70 minus z. Solve for z. So add z to both sides, 5z, subtract 20, divide by 5, z is equal to 10. Li is 5y minus 10, and that corresponds with 80. Add 10 to both sides, I get 5y is equal to 90. Divide by 5, y is equal to 18. No. Yes, it is 18. Okay, EI is 70, and that corresponds with 2x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides, get 80 is equal to 2x, divide by 2, x is equal to 40. Moving on. This is a glide reflection. So I can tell that triangle HIE corresponds with triangle SOP. So HI is 2x. It will equal to 2. So x is equal to 1. IE is 3. And it corresponds with OP, which is 2y minus 1. Add 1, divide by 2, y is equal to 2. HE is 3z minus 5. And it corresponds with SP, which is z plus 1. Subtract z, I get 2z. Add 5 both sides, I get 6. Z, divide both sides by 2, z is equal to 3. Moving on. Alright, so again, triangle SOP is congruent to triangle HIE. So S is 60, and it corresponds with H, which is 4y, so therefore y is equal to 15. No, is equal to, yes, it is 15. O corresponds with I, so 5x is equal to 75. Divide by 5, x is equal to 15 again. And this last angle here, I have no idea what angle P is, but since I know what x is, or since I know angle O corresponds with angle I, this is equal to 75. So therefore angle P, 75 plus 60 is 135. This must be 35. No, this must be 45. 45, right, okay. So angle P corresponds with angle E. 45 is equal to 5z. So z will equal to 13. And that's it.